All right, every day I try to learn something, and today I learned that someone has decided to make, well, it says gums, but gummy bears out of wine. Who would have thought of that? How handy is that? Wow. Anyway, this is from Rick in the UK. So next trip to UK, I got to get like a 10 cases of that. He did send me a Matlock, though. Now, this is rated on a scale of 1 to 10, rated a 5 on Matlock security scale. It's model 3855. And Rick wanted to know if I could find a way to get into this quickly. Now, I've got to say, it's a pretty hefty lock. It's got a nice thick shackle. It seems very substantial. Somebody at Matlock spent some time in the planning because this is a cross lock, and let me show you what the key looks like. The keys, they got a little notch on the top to orient it. The key will only go in one way. You can see there's 4 banks, 5 pins on each side for a total of 20 pins. On the at night, you can easily find that notch, but it's not so easy to find the little dimple on the lock. It doesn't really stick up. So if you try to stick it in the wrong way, it won't go. So if you try it that way, it doesn't work. Flip it around, that way you know you've got the notch aligned with that little dot, and then it will go in there. Now the thing about this, it works very nicely, very smooth, and the package also says not shimmable. Well, you know, that's pretty cool. I gotta say though, when we look at this, it looks like it might be shimmable. It's got a little angled cutout, and when I look inside of there, I can see a locking pawl that is spring-loaded. So whenever somebody says you can't do it, well, I got to try it. But before we do that, let me talk about how we usually get into these. These are not as difficult as you might think. There are a lot of ways into them. One of the quickest ways, these little tools we buy on eBay and places like that, you can stick it in there, and it basically will rake the pins. Even 20 pins, you can usually rake through it within a couple of minutes. It takes a little while to set this tool up, but once you got it set up, within a couple of minutes, you generally get it. You can also rake these manually if you don't have one of those tools. And generally, I take a tensioner and I stick them in there like that. And then I just grab any rake, and you can rake 3 sides of it. And then without releasing the tension, you've got to take another tensioner to hold the tension so you don't lose what you got. Put him in there, remove that one. Anyway, you get the idea. And then rake the other 3. So it's a little bit clumsy, as you can see by my quick demo. Still possible, but usually within 5 or 10 minutes, you can get into pretty much any of these cross locks like that. But the package said unshimmable. And anytime they say that, I just got to try it. It didn't give me a lot of hope, though, when I looked at it. You can see that this is made with really good tolerances. On this side, I'm trying to figure out through the camera, I think this is the side that has like no gap. I mean, the shackle is right up against the body, and on that side we got a little bit of a gap. So the trick with these is to lubricate your shims and attack the tight side first. So that's what I'm going to try to do. So I'm going to take my shim. I got a little bit of like a drop of oil on there. I'm going to attack it a slightly different way. Now we need to have that shim right there, but I'm going to start it on the back side. And then once I get it slid in, I'm going to kind of roll him around like this, hopefully. And now you can see we've shimmed the really tight side. The downside of that, of course, is that when we wedge that in there, the gap that we used to have on what I call the loose side is no longer loose. It's now tight as well, but it's given us a little slot on the outside. So try it again. Again, a little bit of oil will go a long way when you try this. Slide it on there. Inside, roll around, and we are, I believe, shimmed. Now it's so incredibly tight, you don't think it's open because the spring doesn't push that shackle out. But that's because we've got it tightly wedged in there. Just take a little pull. If it's on a chain or a door or something, grab a hold of it and just give it a good yank. And I think you'll find, hopefully, that you can overcome that pressure and get in there. So yeah, package says not shimmable doesn't mean that's true. There's a bean counter somewhere that's, you know, loosening up those machining standards. It's going to let us get in these guys. Anyway, Rick, there you go. The Matlock 3855. That's the name because it takes about 38.55 seconds to shim your way into it. Anyway, yeah, these are really going to come in handy at the next office meeting. I'll be the guy in the back eating these bad boys. Appreciate your time, guys. Stay safe, stay legal. Rick, thank you, sir, for the lock, and especially thank you for the wine gums.